Coming up, students mourn the loss of classmates after a university mass shooting. And later, a month-long light festival.
Men's basketball seeks revenge against a feared opponent.
A snowstorm is headed towards Iowa City.
This is DITV News at 8:30. Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Samantha Bielema. 3 Michigan State students are dead and 5 are injured after a gunman opened fire in 2 university buildings Monday night. DITV Assistant News Director Julia Richards has more.
It's terrifying, man. It really is. We don't know what to do at all. We're just listening to the police scanners, hoping for the best.
Exactly 5 years after the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida, Michigan State students were forced to barricade their doors and hide under classroom desks as gunfire erupted. "43-year-old Anthony Dwayne McRae opened fire around 8 p.m. Monday night at Berkeley Hall. He then traveled down the street and opened fire at the University Union building. McRae later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He has no ties to the university."
That's an unknown right now, and that's what we're trying to understand is why this incident occurred. I know everybody wants to know what the motive is. We don't have an answer right now, and that's the honest truth.
Authorities are still investigating the situation. As of yesterday evening, police said they discovered a note in McRae's pocket detailing threats like finishing off Lansing and threats to schools in Ewing, New Jersey, his hometown. McRae pled guilty to a firearm charge in 2019. The mass shooting marks the 67th in 2023, which totals to more than 1 mass shooting per day so far this year. From the University of Iowa, Julia Richards, DITV.
And the Extreme Arena in Coralville opened its doors on September of 2020. It has since brought economic growth to the area. We have Daily Iowa News reporter Natalie Miller in the newsroom with more. Natalie, how often is the arena bringing people in, and roughly how many flow through the area?
The Extreme Arena is not only home to the University of Iowa's volleyball team, but also the Iowa Heartlanders professional minor league hockey team. But it often holds high school, rec, and club sporting events and concerts. Depending on the event, the arena can see around 5,000 people flow through, all of whom are eating, shopping, lodging in the Iowa River Landing area and Coralville area.
And what groups of people is the Coralville area seeing?
Depending on the event, the River Landing will see many families for sporting events and groups of friends for concerts. Coralville Mayor Megan Foster said the arena has seen more people since the arena's opening. Not only is Coralville seeing people from across Iowa, but also across the globe, with the Wrestling World Cup being held in the arena.
And has the Extreme Arena had a positive effect on other businesses in the area?
Tribute and 30 Hop are both businesses located directly across from the arena, and they have seen a jump in business when their events at the arena. Blake Lafton, General Manager at Tribute, and Mike Osaro, General Manager at 30 Hop, said they both make sure to schedule additional staff to cover these nights. Lafton added that depending on the event, he will make changes to the beverage menu depending on the crowd.
How has the arena affected Coralville?
Mayor Foster said that 20 plus years ago, the Iowa River Landing was not in good shape and has since rebuilt into a beautiful area. She said the Extreme Arena has always been the final piece in the rebuildment of their area.
Thanks, Natalie. And despite the rain yesterday, the weather in Iowa City has been nice, but as of late, the snow is rumored to be making a return. Johnny, could you tell us more?
Thanks, Samantha. And the nice weather that Valentine's Day has unfortunately broken up with Iowa City. Right now we're looking at a live shot of campus. Today we will see a high of 38. Clouds will continue throughout the day. Tonight with a low of 25, we have a chance for heavy snow with a possibility of an incoming storm. The high tomorrow will reach 29, and I guarantee that it will snow tomorrow. If not, I'll go back outside for weather for the rest of the year. Looking at the week ahead, Friday will be the odd child of the weekend. Despite being sunny, it will have the lowest high. The weekend into the beginning of next week will see clouds fill the sky more than spy balloons, and highs will be swinging between the mid-40s and upper 30s. Lows will stay consistent in the 20s, and no precipitation is expected. I will also guarantee Samantha has a good story in store, as I'll send it back to her.
Thanks, Johnny. The Iowa City Downtown District is hosting a new event in the area for the month of February. DITV News reporter David Consuelos has more on the month-long project.
In order to draw out the community during the cold winter, the Iowa City Downtown District began a special winter night lights that is entirely free to the public for the month of February. The month-long event is entirely self-guided and made accessible to all families, children, and anyone young at heart. The winter lights feature giant inflatable bunnies designed by international artist Amanda Pear. Although cute, the rabbits symbolize more than just a cuddly animal.
The bunnies in Australia are invasive species, and at the same time, like kind of a fairy tale creature. So when they're like in this huge inflatable form as public art, they kind of have a looming presence, but also a fun, playful presence. So that kind of speaks to that dynamic.
The bunnies were accompanied by doodle trees as well as singing trees along Dubuque Street to create a fun backdrop. In addition, the light experience hosted silent discos for a fun cold weather dance party each Friday night.
You can dance with the bunnies, you can dance amongst the lights, so you couldn't do that if we were inside.
The Iowa City Downtown District plans to continue to promote community and connection to the downtown area, with more events yet to come. From downtown Iowa City, David Consuelos, DITV.
And the Papa John Business Building will turn 30 this year. The School for Business has continued its renovations for years, and recent additions have made accessibility for people with disabilities easier. The building continues to be reevaluated in an attempt to making necessary changes. Notable changes are improvements to handicap doors and ramps that previously did not have the buttons. Parts of these changes comes with an evolution of Americans with Disabilities Act that was originally passed in 1990. Professor Pamela Borgery, who works at the building, said, quote, "You can't learn or get to work if you can't get in the building." The changes are to give a welcoming atmosphere to whoever walks through the building's doors. Future projects include door openers to restrooms and larger buttons for existing handicap doors. And the University of Iowa Undergraduate Student Government, or USG, welcomed a new member to its committee. Marco Morell will serve as the Justice and Equity Committee Deputy Director. The position was created due to the lack of retention in the Justice and Equity Committee role. Directors have quit within 2 or 3 weeks of starting their position in recent years. Morell is a first-year student studying environmental policy and planning on the pre-law track. Despite hesitating to apply for the role, he plans to advance justice initiatives within his new position. Now, let's send it over to DITV Sports with Ethan Brander.
Thanks, Samantha. The Iowa men's basketball team will host the Ohio State Buckeyes tomorrow at 8 p.m. DITV sports reporter AJ Reister has more on the Big Ten matchup.
The Iowa Hawkeyes may be unranked, but they are beginning to prove why they are still one of the nation's best. Since their loss to Michigan State, Iowa has gone 4-1 with wins against Rutgers, Northwestern, and Illinois. They now find themselves in the thick of the Big Ten Conference. The Hawkeyes are in a 6-way tie for 5th, but with a win on Thursday, they could find themselves jumping up to 2nd or 3rd. However, Ohio State upset Iowa just a month ago, 93-77. Despite being at the bottom of the conference, the Buckeyes have proven they can battle with some of the best teams in the country.
Just kind of how the Big Ten goes. Every game's a new challenge. I mean, I thought that the night we played them, they were a really good team.
It was really uncharacteristic of how we played, I feel like, that game, especially on the defensive end. They were a team that was struggling going to that game, and we let them get hot.
93 points can't happen again.
The Hawkeyes have 5 more Big Ten games after Thursday night before they begin the Big Ten tournament in Chicago, Illinois. This is AJ Reister, DITV Sports.
Thanks, AJ. The Iowa women's team takes on Big Ten rival Wisconsin today at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Hawkeyes come into the game 20-5 after a massive win against Rutgers, and the Badgers are looking to improve their 8-18 record after defeating Minnesota on Saturday.
Williams dribbling forward to the basket. No one can guard her. Ends one.
The Badgers will look to Sarah Williams and Julie Pospisilova, both averaging 13.2 points per game, to lead them to an upset victory. As the season approaches the later stages, the Hawkeyes can't afford to make mistakes and give up an upset loss that eliminates their team's goals.
Yeah, we don't even think about that, because I think that if you start focusing on it and thinking about it, it's going to happen. Man, if we win out, we could be, co-champs or whatever. That's kind of where our focus is. It's not like, oh, pressure on. It's more like, this is an unbelievable opportunity.
Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and fans can tune into the Big Ten Network to catch all the action. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is contemplating his future both as a Packer and as an NFL quarterback in a unique way. Come Monday, he will be going on a darkness retreat where he will spend 4 days in total darkness, silence, and isolation as he contemplates his future.
It's a darkness retreat. Wow. And I've had a number of friends who've done it and had some profound experiences, and it's something that's been on my radar for a few years now, and I felt like it'd be awesome to do regardless of where I was leaning after this season. So it's been on the calendar for months and months and months, and it's coming up in a couple weeks.
Aaron Rodgers is scheduled to end his retreat with this possible decision as soon as next Thursday. And New Mexico State fired men's basketball head coach Greg Heyer on Tuesday regarding hazing allegations throughout the program. This adds insult to injury as the program was terminated this last weekend for several incidents to at least 3 different players. New Mexico State's Chancellor Dan Arvizu announced the move in a letter addressed to the community saying that, quote, hazing has no place on our campus and those found responsible will be held accountable for their actions. I'm committed to the safety and well-being of all members of our campus community, as well as the integrity of our university, end quote. The Aggies have had a roller coaster every year, which has included everything from a self-defense killing at the beginning of the season to the recent hazing allegations. The team will be suspended indefinitely. And Iowa women's swim and dive is traveling to Ann Arbor, Michigan to kick off the Big Ten Championships tonight. The team is currently 1-7-1 on the season, but still hopes to make a splash over the next 4 days of competition. Despite a less than stellar record, Iowa has some bright stars, such as swimmer Kennedy Gilbertson, who holds 3 top 10 times in program history. The meet will begin at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and conclude later Saturday night. That's all for sports, but let's send it back to Johnny for another look at weather.
Hi, Ethan. And with a possible snowstorm coming to Iowa City, here are some tips to stay safe. First off, dress warm. I don't care if you're going to the gym or the sauna, wear plenty of layers. If you're driving, drive cautious. Give yourself plenty of time for stops and turns. Keeping a fully charged phone and snacks is good caution, just in case things get bad. Some people hate the snow. Personally, I love it. So also enjoy the beautiful scenery it creates. Back to you, Samantha.
Thanks, Johnny. And 5 otters at the New Hampshire Zoo spent their Valentines painting cards for hospital patients. The Asian small-clawed otters, Harry, Teddy, Peanut, Jelly, and Sacco, used Animals Safe pink and red paint to create their lovely ottergrams. Living Shores Aquariums and 10 lucky sweepstake winners will also receive cards from the otters, and they're thinking of making this an annual tradition. Thank you for tuning in live to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday, and check out more of our content on thedailyiowan.com/DITV. For DITV News, I'm Samantha Bielema. Have a great day.